Hello, Johnny and Amber. I'm Pat Stino with Epic Homes. It is April 23rd, Thursday, and we're trying a virtual pre-drywall walkthrough. So thanks for taking the time to view what we have here, and I'll be going over everything today that we would be doing in person. So this is your house behind me. This is a checklist that I have. It's called the Pre-Drywall Walkthrough Checklist. I'm going to be talking about all of these items today. We're going to cover everything from grading and drainage to gutters, downspouts, elevation, window grids, electrical locations, low volt, plumbing, mechanical, change orders, and the projected schedule from today. I'm currently at the stage at your house. We have just finished all of the low volt installation. So this walkthrough that I'm doing today will be the first time I'll be looking at that with you. We are in the process also of doing rough inspections, and that is a several day process that happens right before insulation. I'm currently in rough inspections today, tomorrow, and Monday, finishing them on Monday, and I'm scheduled to insulate on Tuesday. So we're going to do this video today, and we're going to get it loaded to YouTube for you to view, and I am very hopeful that you can watch this over the weekend and come and visit your house over the weekend with your paperwork. I've got copies of the same paperwork that you have and have signed off on, your electrical mini, your low volt, your option sheet, your NSOs. I've got the identical documents that you have. So I'll be following along with you, or you with me. So here we are in the exterior, and as you can see, we have all the siding installed, but we don't have any masonry. Everything that is still green will be covered with masonry, stucco or stone. You have selected the modern prairie elevation, and you get a combination of stone and stucco. Also, with the modern prairie elevation, there are no window grids in the modern prairie elevation, so all of your windows are clear without any grids. There are other homes around the project and in your neighborhood that have window grids, but the modern prairie does not get any window grids. So with that said, we're going to walk around the outside first because there's a few options that you've selected that we're going to look at, and then we're going to pause the video, then we're going to go into the garage, we're going to look at things in the garage, and then move into the house. And we're going to move room by room. I'm going to show you how all electrical is installed. It's very logical, where all the options are, and we'll just move right through the house. So here we go. Here we are. I'm going to show you a copy of the plot plan, which if you do not have, I'd like you to nag Kyle. Make sure that he gets you one of these. This is very important for you to have. This also helps in your planning of your landscaping, and either you or your landscape designer can go over this. There's a lot of helpful and pertinent information on the plot plan. There's a little key or a legend in the lower right corner, and that tells you what all of the symbols on the plot plan stand for. You have what we call a B lot, and what that means is your drainage splits, half of it to the front and half of it to the back. And the high point on your lot is right off of the garage corners. You can see the HP here off of this garage corner, and then on this two-stall garage, the high point is over about basically straight across from the garages. Those are the high points on your lot. So anything forward of that will drain to the street, and everything behind that high point will drain to the rear property line and then channel down the designed drainage areas. The arrows just tell us what direction we want water to flow, and that's all to the back from the high point and to the front from the high point. So make sure you get this from Kyle if you don't already have it. We're going to walk down the side, we're going to pause, but then we're going to move around back so that I can point out a few electrical options that you've selected, and then we'll come up the other side and we'll get into the garages. Go. Here we are at the rear corner of your house, and this would be the northeast corner. You can see that on this northeast corner, that's where the main electrical distribution panel is located. Now, one of the options that you've selected is an interior load center, and we'll take a look at that when we get inside the house and down to the basement area. But this is the main disconnect where all of the main breakers are, and this also is where low volt termination is. So whether you choose Xfinity or Comcast or CenturyLink, whoever you choose for your internet or low volt supply company. This is where the D mark would be set and where everything would, where your connection to the house is. So in the rear, you've opted for a few electrical items, and we'll catch the ones in front when we move around. But in the rear of the home, you've requested to have 2 coach lights on 2 outside columns at 84 inches above the finished patio. You can see we've got 1 roughed here, and there's 1 on the outside column. We'll take a look at that in a second. But here, as we are here on the back patio, you can see we've got standard coach light and waterproof outlet below. Also, you have opted for a waterproof outlet in the ceiling, so that will be mounted right here, and that's the coiled wire that you see here, and so that's a waterproof outlet. As we move around to this other side, you have also selected an optional hose bib, which we've got on this back corner where you designated you wish it to be, and you'll see that right here. This is your optional hose bib. As we move up, this is the basement window, that's in the rec room, and your front hose bib is up on top. Also, the T for the irrigation system or the landscape sprinkler system is up next to that hose bib, and you'll get a good shot of that here in a moment. We're going to walk up this side. So this is the west face facade, which gets all stucco and stone combined. Now we'll move up to the front of the garage. You've also selected some exterior lights to be installed, LED lights in the soffits of your home. So here we are at the side of the 2-stall garage. This is a location for a waterproof, I believe this is the holiday circuit here. This is the holiday circuit up high, and that is switched at the front entry, and I'll show you that when we get into the house. So in the soffit on the single stall garage, just where you have located them but centered between the windows, are 2 3-inch LEDs. And as we back up and point above, you can see per your drawing, we have 2 3-inch LEDs. There's the garage centered, 2 LEDs centered on the stucco base, and then 2 on this side over the siding base. Okay, we're going to move around onto the driveway. We'll move into the single stall garage. In the single stall garage, the only option you've selected is an outlet at 108 inches. I'm going to pull down the garage door so you can see that. That's on this outside wall, up high next to this window. The other outlets in the garage are standard wiring outlets. We've got on every wall there is an outlet. Generally in this model, this back wall is used by the landscaper. So this is where your irrigation clock generally goes on this model of home. So got power on all 3 walls, plus the optional high 108 in the front. There's also light and garage door pre-wire down to sensor wires at the door. So everything is ready for garage door. You also have selected, I believe, a complete interior garage finish, which is fully insulated, drywall, taped, textured, and painted. And that's correct, you have selected that option. So I'm going to pull this door back up and we're going to go into the 2-stall. Front entry, exterior, chinchilla glass door, the 4-panel. Got doorbell and waterproof outlet on the front porch. Up in the soffit, everything is still open for our inspectors to be able to see. They need to see all of the wiring, all of the detailing, all of the connections of the trusses and members, framing members, and that after we get through all of our rough inspections, that's when we start to close up the soffits. You'll see probably in about 10 days, might be 2 weeks. You'll see the scaffolding for the stucco go up and the masonry lath begin, So that they're moving up the street. We got them over on the other side right now. But as soon as they're finished with that house, they'll be moving to this one to set scaffolding. So that's going to happen within probably masonry lath within the next week and stucco lath about 2 weeks out. So coach light on either side of the two-stall garage. Inside, you have requested car charger outlets, one on each side of the two-stall, and they are in. They are a 50 amp outlet, 220 50 amp, those are in. You've also requested a dedicated outlet on this back wall, and that's for your central vac system, and here's your 20 amp dedicated outlet here. On the walls in the garage, there are standard outlets as well. So we've got other outlets, standard GFI circuits on all three walls. Also in this garage, you've requested that same type of outlet at 108 inches on the front. And we pull the door down. So you can see up here, this is that outlet at 108 inches. And that's it in the two-stall, other than everything you see in here when you come and visit, and whenever the next time you visit is, everything will be, all of the walls that are open, those will be insulated, and then the walls inside insulate. Also the whole ceiling insulates and everything drywalls. So this will be totally finished garage. Also again, as we always do, we've got 2 lights, and we've got a pre-wire for a garage door opener. We also, when we have, in this model, when we have this beam in the garage and this drop soffit for mechanical, we also add another light behind this beam. So this isn't totally shadowed, so there's another ceiling light here, so that this area is illuminated as well. So now we're going to move into the house, and this is called the owner's entry from the garage into the house. As you can see on the garage wall here, there's 2 switches here. One is for the interior garage lights, and the other is a switch, which is a 3-way switch at the front entry to operate the exterior coach lights. We've got 2 switches, garage, interior garage, and 3-way on the coach. This is the owner's entry, and this is the closet on this side, and you requested an outlet here at 70 inches, and that's where that's located. You've also requested by the low volt mini that I have here. We've got low volt right here as well, and you've asked for, we've got conduit from the CP6 in the coat closet at 78 inches to the CP6 location on the other side, which we'll look at here when we get into the great room, where things tie together at CP6 location in the niche. So we'll take a look at that momentarily. But low volt, conduit, over to the niche, power. This yellow wire, blue box with yellow wire here, the owner's entry, this is the keypad location for the security system. I'm not sure if you're installing it or just pre-wiring, but this is the keypad location. That's it for low volt in the owner's entry, but as you enter and exit every room in the house, we've got things wired very logically. When you enter an area, there's a switch to turn a light on ahead of yourself. When you exit the area, there's a switch to turn off behind yourself. So you're going to hear me say it several times as we enter and exit every room. We're going to turn on lights. I call the walk lights, or ahead of yourself, the travelers. We're going to turn on the travelers. We get through that area, we turn them off behind ourselves. And we'll look at all of the electrical options that you've selected and the low volt as we go. Might take me a moment as I flip from document to document, so bear with me. So here we are in the owner's entry, and we've got a 3-way switch here, and that's to turn on the traveling lights ahead of yourself. We've got the powder room on the left, and as you enter the powder room, there's a switch on the right. So we have the lab, and this wire here, we just call it a whip. We put the whip above. This will be above the mirror. Above the lab, we have the stool. Inside there are 2 switches. One is for the light above the mirror, and one is for the fan. So So then as you leave the owner's entry area and enter into the main area of the house, on the right-hand side, there's two switches. One of them is to turn off the traveler behind yourself and then turn on lights ahead of yourself. And that is the three-way to the stair area here. So that will turn on these lights in this area, more travelers. There's no additional electrical requested in the foyer, but we're gonna walk through the foyer. We'll talk about these switches when we come back. We're gonna walk to the front entry and make our way into the house. So here we are in the main foyer, and as you come in, we've got several switches on this side, and we've got what we call a 4 gang and a 2 gang, and we have them separated. We do that purposely. So as we come in, we've got a 3-way for the coach lights for outside. We also have ceiling lights in the front soffit on the front porch. We have a 3-way to the center chandelier in the foyer up high, and then there's a switch to turn it off as you get into the deep foyer area, and I'll show you that. Then we also have a switch to turn on traveling lights ahead of yourself, getting into the study and the optional guest bedroom. So that's what all these switches are. This, we've got, I kind of separate them because for me, I kind of think about myself and how I live. I'm hoping you're okay with this, but I generally separate some exterior specials. So what we've got here is we've got the holiday circuit and we've got the exterior LEDs. So all of those 3-inch LEDs that we were looking at in the soffits out front, those are all controlled here, plus the holiday circuit that you requested, which I forgot to point out, or no, we did look at it at outside the single stall garage. So that outlet is switched from right here, that holiday circuit. So as we move through the foyer, we're going to move into the area which is the single stall garage entrance, and there is a what we call a 4-way switch inside. In the garage, there's a switch on this side, and that is for the lights in the garage. Then you come in from the garage, you turn on lights ahead of yourself. So this switch, we call it a 4-way. That means it can be operated from 3 locations. So you can turn them on here, turn them off here, or if you choose to go into the guest bedroom, it's operated from that side. So you can turn on, off from the garage, from the entry, or the guest bedroom area. Always ahead and behind yourself. So here we are, and we're basically standing now in the study. The electrical options you've selected in this room are the ceiling fan pre-wire, and that is located in the center of the room. Also, you've selected the low volt option here, which I'm gonna just get to the page to make sure I can name it the right thing. So in the study, we have got a CP6 on this wall here, and that's this right here, and that's the Cat 6 and cable. Other standard outlets around the room. Now another thing that we wire in every room is what's called a half hot, okay? And in every living space, bedroom, living area, anything at all, we have a switch that turns that half of an outlet across the room is on the switch. So if you choose to plug in a lamp, it'll operate from the switch. So we've got the double glass doors here into the study. You've selected that option. You come in, there are 2 switches outside the door swing area. One is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, 1 switch with multiple wires in it. So we do a double switch here, one for the light, one for the fan. And then the half-hot outlet switched across the room. They're generally on a 45-degree angle across the room, switched outlets. So here we are moving into the guest bedroom and guest bath. So we'll turn lights off behind ourselves, and then right inside this door, there's a light to turn on travelers ahead of yourself. Guest bathroom is on the left. Inside, there are 2 switches. One is for the light above the mirror and the shower, and the other is for the fan. You have opted for the 5-foot shower in lieu of tub. This is so we have shower head. Also in the study, or excuse me, in the guest bedroom, you have requested a wireless access point, and that's this black box with Cat 6 to it. So that is the WAP 6 pre-wire. So in the room, at the entrance to the bedroom, we've got 3 switches going on here. Well, number 1, turn the travelers off behind yourself. Number 2, we got a ceiling fan pre-wire with 2 switches on one, and the half hot across the room. Got the walk-in closet with a switch inside the door to a can light in the ceiling. Pause.
3, 2, 1, go.
Here I am standing at the foyer area leading into the study. I wanted to point out that down below, this is a vac outlet. So that's your central vac for this area in the house. And as we move back through the foyer, wanted to point out that you requested step lights going up the stairs, and we put 1 at each landing and 2 spaced evenly on the main run. The switch is at the front entry, and then there's a switch to turn off those step lights when you get to the top of the stairs. So as we move through the central foyer, we've got a way to turn the light off behind yourself. How about that? That is the center chandelier off behind yourself, and then traveling lights back on ahead of yourself. Main thermostat, and this controls the furnace right below us, which is located in the basement, and the basement furnace controls or accommodates air for the basement and the main floor. The upper level has its own furnace, which we'll look at when we get up there. So, thermostat location, power outlets. As we get to the foyer kitchen area, we've got 3 switches here, and 1 is to turn on kitchen lights ahead of yourself, also the pendant lights over the island, and the dining nook light. So as you can see in the kitchen, the dining nook light, 2 pendants over the island for your requests, and then the recessed can lights. And you'll also see these recessed can lights in the kitchen all the way from the hood to the general work area to the can light over the sink are all centered and in line. So you've got nice clean lines. And as you look at the recessed cans, they're centered this way, and the nook, which is always centered on the door. So all lines, it becomes very symmetrical. In the kitchen, you have selected an under cabinet lighting package. We've got several switches in the room. I'm going to show you what those are. So here, this is also, this blue pipe sticking out of the wall, this is the water supply for the coffee maker that you've selected. And we've got a stack switch going on here. And we've got outside cans to operate from here. We've got ceiling fan pre-wire outside centered, and a switched waterproof outlet also on the back deck. We're going to take a look at it. So we've got ceiling fan pre-wire centered. We've got 4 cans spaced evenly, 2 on each side, plus the switched waterproof outlet in the ceiling of the deck. So all operated from that general location. This is the waterproof outlet on the back deck. And a 3-way for the kitchen lights, so you can turn them on and off from the entry to the kitchen or from this side. I mentioned the coffee maker. This is the power for the coffee maker, the whip for the coffee maker. Got the tower here. These white wires out of the wall with these whips again. These are for the under cab lights that you have selected. So we've got a light under this cabinet next to here. You've also selected all outlets to be horizontal in the kitchen, and we place those horizontally. It's a different type of box to get a horizontal application, and those are all set at the same height at 38.5 inches. So we've got under cabinet lights, horizontal outlets. So we've got an under cabinet light there, 1 under this cabinet, 1 under this corner cabinet. Then on either side of the range, we've got under cabinet lights. This is the range hood power, and below is the power for the range and gas for the range. As we move around to this corner, we've got another under cab light under this cabinet, under this quarter cabinet. This stud will be replaced or corrected before we insulate. This is our oven tower. We've got an oven with a micro above. That's where that's located. The kitchen sink is here, and with the dishwasher on the left. Also on the floor, you will see the central vac inlet, and that'll be at the front of the cabinet, in the toe kick of the cabinet. Got the refrigerator here. Everything is pre-wired, and you selected the pantry cabinets, which this whole wall gets cabinets all the way to the refrigerator. Then we go reefer, then we go oven tower, then we got base cabinets, and then around the room. So as I back up and move into the grand room area, we've got a couple of switches here, and one is to turn off traveling lights behind yourself and turn on lights ahead of yourself. We've got 3 switches as we move into the grand room. One is for the recessed cans in the ceiling, and you have 6 recessed cans, and they center on the windows and this way on these windows. So everything is symmetrical in the room on the recessed cans. Then we have the ceiling fan pre-wire, center of room. So the switches here on the wall, which I pointed out as we were entering the grand room, is one is to turn on the recessed cans, one is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, and the other is for a half hot across the room, which is in that corner over there. So here we are at the main fireplace area, and I'm gonna open up my low volt because I know I've got a lot of low volt going on in this room. In the ceiling of the grand room, we've got a wireless access point, which is Cat 6. We've got speaker pre-wires. I'm going to point those out to you. And we also have a glass break, but that is over by the patio doors. And if you stay there, Craig, I'm going to show where the glass break is. That is right here. That's for your security system. This is the glass break sensor. So if any glass would break, it would set your alarm off. So general service outlets and lighting, general service outlets around the room. And then here we are at the fireplace. At the fireplace, you have requested an outlet at 75 inches right here. Also, on the low volt side, we have conduit from the CP6 to 24 inches on the other side of the fireplace, so I'm going to show you. So the conduit comes down, goes to the CP6 location here. There is the rough end conduit. We have got on this wall CP6 and power per your request. Now above, I'm going to point out, and you will see, I'm going to point out all of the speaker locations. So centered on the window again, we've got a speaker centered over the fireplace, speaker centered on the window, in line with the recessed cans. We also have speaker here, speaker back here, speaker here, another here, and in that same line down below is your vac port. Down low, this is the vacuum port for the grand room area. Something I was going to mention here was next to the fireplace, this is the on-off switch for the fireplace, so this is where that is controlled. Also, we have the subwoofer, which is located on this side in the niche per your request. This is the subwoofer line. Also, the gas shutoff valve for the fireplace. There'll be a key that will protrude through the wall with a trim plate on it, and there'll be a key for you to turn gas on and off. And I believe that wraps up all of the options in the grand room, in the general lighting and options in the kitchen. And we're going to pause the video, and we're going to move to the upper floor. I pointed out at the entry that you have selected stair lights, step lights, up and down. So I'm going to start at the top of the stairs, show you where the 3-way switch is to turn the step lights off behind yourself as you would move up the stairs.
Go.
Okay, we're picking up where we left off, and it's coming up from the main floor to the upper level. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have the optional step lights coming up. And then when we get to the top of the stairs, we've got 3 switches at the top of the stairs. One is a 3-way switch for the center chandelier. One is a 3-way switch for the step lights. The other is for my travelers. So I'm traveling, there's a light ahead. Some blue boxes that you'll see on the ceiling are smoke detectors. This one here, though, happens to be a wireless access point for your request. And it's a WAP Cat 6, so there's a wireless access point with Cat 6 wiring. So as we move to the master suite, I'm going to turn off lights behind myself, and I'm going to turn travelers on ahead of myself. So we come into the master suite area. On the right is the laundry room. And as we move in the laundry room, there are 2 switches. One is for the recessed cans, and the other is for the fan. And you can see here we have washer left, dryer right. We've got outlets above countertop. We have laundry sink location, another power outlet here. You have not requested any additional high voltage wiring in here, not that you need any, but that is the layout of the laundry room. Now we'll enter the master private area, and as you enter, switch to turn off behind yourself, switch to turn on ahead. Also, this is the 3-way or the second keypad location for your security system, right outside of the master sleeping area. So we'll move into the master suite area. As we move in the entryway, you'll see a vac port here, power next to it, and we'll move into the master suite area. 3 switches as we enter the master suite. Guess what? One's to turn off the lights behind yourself. We also have 2 other switches. One is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, and the other is for the half hot across the room. You see, we also have the coffered ceiling. Several outlets around the room. Master sitting area, or the sitting room, and we've got power at 72 above the fireplace. Also Cat 6, and it's called just a CP6 pre-wired here. Down low, again, gas valve to shut off the fireplace. On the right-hand side is the on-off switch for the fireplace. Service outlets down. You'll see 3 switches over here on the wall. One is for 3-way on the ceiling fan. Out exterior lights in the soffit, which we'll look at it in a moment. Also, we have a switched waterproof outlet in the ceiling of the deck. So here's the master outdoor room. Ceiling fan, the switch inside, operated this ceiling fan, wasn't a 3-way. Ceiling fan pre-wire here. Recessed can, separate switch. And then the switched waterproof outlet in the ceiling on this side. So we're going to just pan across to the north, and you're going to see the view that you get of your master outlet. This is awesome. You will love this. You will have many a pleasant evening watching the sun go down over the Flatirons. Okay, as we move back into the master, I'll make my way ahead. We'll go into the master bathroom area, but before I do, I wanted to point out to you that this wall here is pre-blocked for an optional barn door, and I'm going to show you that on the other side. This is what's called a shear wall, and that is a structural component in the house. Shear is a way to minimize or eliminate any side-to-side motion or movement in a house, or really what the engineering term is moment. We want to eliminate any moment, and that's what this shear wall helps to do through this upper floor. We also do some special truss blocking up in the attic area, which really doesn't concern you, but this is a very structurally stable design and built house. So as we move through into the master bathroom area, I'm going to come back into the stool room and show you the barn door backing that we have put in the wall up high, so that also above the doorway We've got blocking in, so when you have that barn door installed, there's plenty of backing behind that wall. So here I am standing in the master stool room, and what we have in here is a stool. You've also requested an additional optional outlet here, almost behind the stool, just off to the left a little bit. Two switches in the stool room. One is for the recessed can light, the other is for the fan. So here we are in the master bathroom area. And as you enter the master bathroom, there are 4 switches on this side. And we've got vanity lights above both vanities. We have got shower recessed cans. We have got recessed cans in the traveling area. And bear with me on the 4th switch. Let's turn off the lights behind myself. How novel. So we got half wall, which and seat. This gets glass enclosure, door here. You have also optioned for 2 rain heads in the master shower, and those are controlled on either side of the V. This all is a tile floor with a center drain, recessed cans over both areas of the shower. So it's basically a mirrored shower. Columns get tiled on the inside, drywall finished on the out. You've opted also for a freestanding tub, and the freestanding tub goes between these half walls. So these half walls get drywall finished with whatever material you choose on your finish in the shower also gets applied here on top of the half walls. So we got his and her vanities on each end, power next to each, vanity lights. No additional electrical requests in this room. There's plenty of power, plenty of lights, believe me, in this bathroom. As we move into the master closet area, we've got 2 switches inside. One, you have requested a ceiling light pre-wire. We also have standard 2 cans in this room, and those are installed. So we have 2 switches. One is for the ceiling light pre-wire per your request, and the other is for the recessed cans. We also have power outlet inside of the master closet. No additional vac port in this area. The vac port for the master bedroom and bathroom area is at that foyer. Okay, we're going to move to the secondary side of the 2nd floor. As I mentioned earlier, here I am back in the upper landing area at the top of the main stairs, and I'm standing in the landing area. We've got a traveler light on ahead of myself. We're going to move into the secondary bedrooms before we get into the teen suite. So I'm going to walk down the hall. We've got lights to turn off behind ourselves and travelers to turn on ahead. We're going to start making our way past the 2nd floor furnace. This is the air handler, which manages the air comfort on the top floor. So all air conditioning and heating is controlled from here. As we move down the hallway, we've got a 3-way switch to turn lights off behind myself. We've got a secondary bath with a lav, stool, and tub shower. And as I walk into inside, there's a light and a fan. Light over the tub, light over the lav, and a fan. As we move into bedroom number 2, got a little walk-in closet here off to the right. Switch inside for the recessed can. There'll be rod and shelf in that closet. We've got service outlets around the room. 2 switches as you come in. I walked right past them. I apologize. One is to turn lights off behind myself. The other is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, which you've requested. So we have ceiling fan pre-wire. Also, low volt, we have a WAP 6. It's a wireless access point with Cat 6 located in this room. And we have a half-hot outlet in the corner of the bedroom. Service outlets around the room. So as we make our way back down the hall, we can turn the lights on ahead of ourselves, and we're moving into bedroom number 3. So on bedroom 3, we've got no low volt, no additional high voltage either, but there are 2 switches as we move in. I apologize, we do have a ceiling fan pre-wire per your optional request. The other switch would operate the half-hot across the room, which is here on the closet wall. Got a walk-in closet with a ceiling fan above. Jack and Jill bath. We call this Jack and Jill. It has 2 lavs, 3-way switches to turn on or off from either side, whichever way you're entering. So 2 lavs, 2 lights above the mirrors, and tub shower with 2 switches for light and fan in the tub stool room. So as we move into bedroom 4, switch to turn off behind yourself. Here we have, again, a ceiling fan pre-wire. So I've got 2 switches on the wall. One is to operate the ceiling fan, and the other is for the half hot across the room. General service outlets around the room, and walk-in closet with switch can light. Now I'm going to walk the long way around because we're going to the most important area of the house, and I'm sure you'll agree with me after you move in, and that's the teen suite. So as we walk down the hallway from bedroom 4, we come to the teen suite. We can turn lights behind her, turn off lights behind herself, and that's on a 4-way, so no matter where you are in that hallway, you can turn them on or off. I'm going to back up just for a moment and show you a metal conduit that's running through the house. This comes all the way from the mechanical room in the basement, mechanical area, and I'll show you that. It's labeled photovoltaic. What that is, it goes up into the attic area, and what that is a pre-wire or a conduit in the event that you would ever want to install solar panels on your roof. There is already a conduit for a solar company to run their cabling through from the attic all the way to the basement. So as we move into the teen suite, the most important area of the house, because we have to please them. Believe me, I've been there, done that. We got 2 switches as we come in. We've got a ceiling fan pre-wire and a half hot across the room. We've got several service outlets. We have WAP 6 pre-wire in the ceiling. As I locate it here, the yellow wire, there's the WAP 6 Cat 6. We also have a CP6 low with power next to it. Teen suite, place of their own, pretty nice size walk-in closet with a light. Also shower, 4-foot shower, lab, stool, and another linen or storage closet off the bathroom. I would surmise it would be linen storage. So light above the lab, fan, and light over the shower. And this pretty much wraps up everything on the upper level, and we're going to pause and we're going to move to the basement level, and we'll walk through things there and then wrap things up. Okay, here I am at the first landing to the basement level. And as you come down the basement stairs, there are 2 switches there. One is for overhead lights above each landing, and the other is for your optional step lights that you've chosen. We've got a step light again at each landing and 2 centered in the main stair run. I'm going to pass you by and also point out an option that you selected at the bottom of the stairs. So as we move down, we've got switches at the bottom. So we'll be able to turn off, guess what? Ceiling lights behind yourself, step lights behind yourself, travelers moving ahead. What a novel concept. Here we are in the basement stair foyer area. There are service outlets around this area, 3 of them, plus a vac port. You requested a vac port be on this wall here, and that is located. So you've requested for an unfinished basement. And but as you come in, there's a light switch to turn on all of the lights in this unfinished area. This is a pretty great area. This is the mechanical area for this furnace. It manages the basement level and the main level. Water heater. This will all be connected. We are on plumbing test right now as we go through inspections. We've got floor drain. This is called a Studer vent. This is also another main sewer drop cleanout. And this is a mixing valve that we have, which will be explained to you in great detail at your new homeowner orientation. But that regulates the hot water to the master tub, I believe. But that will be explained to you a little bit clearer at your orientation. Now, in any and all basements, whether it's a finished or unfinished basement, we try and keep everything in closed areas. So, for example, if this was a finished area, if we were finishing this, everything is up in the soffit areas that we normally have. This is the bathroom rough-in over here, lab, stool, tub. So this would be the bath area. Back in this corner would be, this is a sump pit and hose bib. So this is the ejection pipe for the sump pump. We install in your house, in a walkout lot, we install 2 sump pumps, one in the lowest location and one up in the other side of the unfinished area, or designated unfinished area, and we'll show you that in a minute. All of these wires that you see coming down, these are all of what we call the home runs, and they're coming out of your house, and they all go into the electrical panel outside. And you see we've got a pretty heavy-duty wire. Some is for air conditioning, but also is for your optional sub-panel that you have requested, and I'm going to show you where that's located. It's in the unfinished area in the front of the basement. But as we walk through, we've got a couple of things to point out here, and that is we have got 2 switches here, and what we've done is we have put the coach lights that are on the rear columns on a 3-way switch, so that you can turn them on or off from here or from the kitchen area, which I pointed out earlier. The other is the outside light on the wall, and we have the waterproof outlet in the ceiling, which we pointed out a little bit earlier. So as we move around, we're going to go to the main water service location. And that is this area here. Now in your lot, we there are several lots in this community that have a little bit lower water pressure than we like to see. And we put in a recirculating pump. And what that does is it increases the water pressure to the house to make sure that you have constant water pressure at the level that's needed and desired. So this is a recirc pump. There's power there for it. This is the main sewer clean out. We are on test, as I mentioned. This is what we call the water tree. This is the main water service coming into the house from the street, comes up. We've got a main shutoff here, goes through the pump, circulating pump. That's a water pressure booster system. And then this is the main service over to the water furnace area, and then all branches from there. This copper pipe leading off of the main inlet is for the irrigation, or the sprinkler, or the landscape irrigation. Main shutoff, drain valve. This is an anti-hammer device, stopping and knocking if any air gets in the landscaping pipes, which most times it happens. Whether you're draining or filling, you're apt to get air in there. Well, this alleviates any hammering. We've got our main bonding ground going from the water all the way to the electrical panel. This is the other location for the sump pump in the basement. I don't believe that we ever sat down for a pre-construction meeting, but we have a complete interior drain system inside of the basement, below floor grade, below footing even elevation. And any outside water that we would have monsoon rains, and it would percolate through the ground, down through the ground, soak through the ground, designed to come under the footings, collect in the interior drain system, and go to both sump pump locations. And then the pumps would automatically eject the power. Also, we have a main tie-in for that same drain system, which that's what this cap is for. This is for the going into the storm inlet to the city. So there's a clean out for that as well. So we got main sewer coming in, we've got storm, sump pump. This happens to be the vapor pipe. We have a vapor pipe going all the way up through the roof into the attic. And I may have missed pointing out the attic to you. I believe it's in the laundry room. There's an attic access there, and in that attic access there is a light and a power source. So in the event that maybe in the future sometime you may want to put some type of fan system on the vapor vent, there is a power source up in the attic. A contractor can tie into the pipe that's up there, and then there's a power source in the attic already. Some people choose to put in a venting system, some people don't. This is a normal atmospheric vent, and a vapor that would collect underneath the slab. It goes through the drain system and then up through the vapor vent. This is the location which we have installed your sub panel, your 60 amp sub panel for the basement finish. It's also the location for all of the low volt termination. So everything in the house comes down to here, and this is a conduit which we run all the way to the attic as well. So there is a pull string inside of that if you ever need to get anything all the way to the attic for any reason. This is another avenue other than just the photovoltaic conduit. So this pretty much wraps up the pre-drywall walkthrough. Shows you everything that is behind the walls. One of the things that's on my agenda here to talk about is first I'm going to point back to this, and Kyle will have a copy of this. I will sign this. Kyle will have this available to you as well. But we talked about the grading and drainage, the elevation, the window grids, all the electrical locations, low voltage security, plumbing, rough-in locations, the mechanical systems, change orders. We're pretty much at the end of the rope where we could do any changes to the house, and then the projected schedule. Now, earlier today, I was looking through my notes and noticed that I started construction on your house on November 7th. That's when I started the excavation, worked through the winter. November was pretty mild, but December and January had been pretty rough. But here we are, almost at the 1st of May, and we're moving into the drywall stage. Now what my current schedule is I will finish rough inspections tomorrow and Monday, and I will be moving to insulating all of the exterior and interior walls on Tuesday. Then I have all of my energy inspections on Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon we stock drywall and we move right to hanging drywall. What I'd like to request of you, Johnny and Amber, is watch this video, look at your paperwork, make sure I haven't missed anything, get in touch with Kyle, and if there's anything that you see that I need to address, I'll be able to do that Monday. You're welcome to come and visit the house this weekend. Saturday and Sunday are both open. Nothing's going on in the house, so it's not secured totally yet. So the front door is open or the back patio door is open, so you can enter either. But bring your paperwork, look at things, make sure you're comfortable with everything. Something that I really need you to do this weekend is speak with Kyle about an option you've selected, and that is insulating between the master bedroom and bath. I would like to know specifically and drawn or highlighted on a floor plan which walls you want insulated. So Tuesday, when we start insulating the house, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get it right the first time. So that's all I have for today, and I hope you're safe and well, and if you could come and visit this weekend, that'd be great. Stay in touch with Kyle, and he'll point you to a YouTube link for you to view this video. Thanks for your time, and contact Kyle with any questions or any issues that I need to address. I'm here to make things better for you.